Hi Pathway Explorers, my name's Karen Okrafka from Peterborough GreenUp, and I'm here to talk about Landmark 20, Plan an Environmental Project. So I'm here today at St. Anne Catholic Elementary School because this school has done a phenomenal job of engaging their grades 6, 7s, and 8s, just like you, in environmental projects. They have done everything from active transportation to planning and planting significant food and rain gardens, and also getting to know their local community by foot and by bike. Small food gardens, pollinator gardens, all provide incredible opportunities for student leadership. Everything from the planning to the planting can be done by students. Who knew when we planted these garlic cloves last year with Nourish in the fall that they would grow up and provide us with these beautiful and whimsical garlic scapes? And look at the beautiful produce that with so little time you can begin to harvest out of the garden. Come on, let's go look at another great project. Maybe you started with some nice small projects and now you're ready for a bigger challenge? Composting within the school community is a natural extension of things like the beautiful front yard gardens at St. Anne's. Why? Because all students are eating, and with eating comes that compostable waste. Those fruit peels that I see in here, also some excellent brown matter, like the paper towels that we use every day in the washrooms. All of these things can contribute to the natural cycle of compost eventually going back into these beautiful gardens. Now, I do caution that this involves an entire school community, not only knowing how to compost, but also having the capacity to, with their custodians, figure out the pickup of compost, to figure out the building of a beautiful composter. Environmental projects start with a question. The students at St. Anne's were curious, where does their water come from? And where does their water go to? For example, when it flows down this storm drain, does it go to the wastewater treatment plant? In fact, it flows directly and untreated into Jackson Creek. This was an enormous learning, and our first step was a sub-watershed tour of Jackson Creek, all the way from the headwaters to its outflow at the Otonabee River, which happens to be the source of our drinking water. Whenever we're working in partnership with schools, we always encourage projects that start small. I remember an incredible project at Millbrook where students looked at, why are there fish scales in my mascara? Or what's the origin of my bluntstones and where do they go when I'm done with them? Your project can be anything from a small project that deals with your everyday life to a really big on your schoolyard idea. We're on what used to be a flood-prone and underused part of the schoolyard. In the spring, it was muddy and filled with water. In the winter, it was icy and inaccessible to students. 2 years ago, we started with the question of where does our stormwater flow and go. After some careful planning, lots of permissions from the school board, we were able to put a project in the ground. Students planned, designed, and put in the ground this incredible rain garden with the local species at risk as stakeholders in mind.
So when I just started putting that first tree in the ground, it felt, all right, we're doing this. It felt like a huge accomplishment, huge weight lifted off all of our chests. And then once you do the first tree, you're like, I'll do another tree. So it just goes on and on until you're on another trees and everyone's like, wait, are we done yet? I want to plant more trees. And it's amazing.
What's the impact of a project like this? The students that put the plants in the ground for this incredible space graduated this past year. And look at the incredible legacy that they've left behind. Students feel like they have power to put things in the ground that impact not just their lives, but the future of St. Anne's School. Don't have space for a garden? Or are you curious about the community right around your school? Well, maybe it's time to get on the move. Whether it's walking or by bike, you can take your environmental question out into the community. Why not plan a trip along your local bike paths or plan some active and safe routes to school just within your local neighborhoods? So we challenge you to plan one environmental project this season. What will you try out? See you next time.